Yeah, I haven't jumped in the phone booth and turned into the mammoth yet today. I decided to just do a regular video. The last video I was talking about the picture of the marbles and the father son thing and the picture of the images in the rocks. And so I thought I'd show you a few things. And I was going to show you too how I take the pictures of the rocks, and people will say, "Oh, you photoshopped." You know, if you take a picture, a raw picture, you put it into the paint program, and you tell it to turn up the saturation, all you're doing is enhancing the color of every pixel on the picture. It is not changing the picture. It's making the colors more vibrant and come out more so that you can see, say, faded colors that are faded will come out more. You can make a sunset more colorful. You can by increasing the saturation. That's the amount of color in the picture. It doesn't change the designs and the patterns and the shapes and all that. These things are in the rocks, and some of them you don't see unless you process it. You can see it, but it's a lot easier to see if you bring that color out. So what I do, I switch around over to the computer. I got a new phone now. I'm on a Samsung S7 my brother gave me. So, but I'll switch here and show you the easy way to switch on here. You just swipe the finger on the screen down. You're supposed to. No, you got to do the button. It doesn't do it on YouTube, I guess. So, see, this is the father and the son. You see his glasses coming down here, and his eyes are here. This is his hair. This is his back. Here's his hand coming out like he's sitting there just like in the picture. Except here the boy is kind of looking at him. He's not looking at us. You know, and he's over here. There's his eye. There's his smile. Here's his hair. Here's his neck. Here's his body. So he's sitting there. But also, so I got other pictures. I'll get to it. And because this was in summer, when all the leaves are on the trees. In winter, when the leaves are gone from the trees and bushes, you can see other stuff out. Like you can make out a face in here, and there's an eye and a mouth. There's other figures in there, you know, because there's figures all over in this stuff. And so what this comes from is, this is the picture. You see the white here, and you can see the hat here. This is the picture with the two guys standing over the marbles, and he's got, see, his arm is arched over here, and that's these arches here, and his arm is coming across here, and he's got it pointing right in here, and there's that eagle in the thing there, and the father and son thing are right up in here, you know. And I was just looking at the picture, and I think the biddies are right over in the next rock cropping. So, yeah, if you go in here, see, this is where the hand is, right, and he's pointing. See his hand, and there's that eagle right in the hand. But, see, there's another one, looks like another eagle right in there. But there's all kinds of stuff in here. You see, these are all heads here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that one looks neat. This guy here laying there. So now let's see. Go to another image I got of the area. That's the copy paste low resolution. Here's a high resolution. Okay, so this is, you can see this is several pictures. You see where I had them stitched. I had the program stitch all the pictures I took of this zoomed in. I had to stitch it together, so I have this is like 40,000 pixels across. It's gigapixels. This ain't megapixels. And you see the eagle thing is right there, right about where the hand is. He's right in there. Where is he? Right there. See, here's that eagle in the circle on the nest. And this is the bird in the nest thing too. It's one of those. You can see it's also kind of a face in there, and the eagle is the nose and the mouth, whatever. But you see there's a face here looking down into it. There's nose, eye, mouth, forehead, you know. And see there's another face right back here. His nose, mouth. You got to be able to see the art in nature. And this really is, you know, all put there intentionally. You see, there's some more figures in there. There's even rock in there that's got eyes and nose. These were intentional. These are 14,000 years old, very worn out. And so I examined my pictures, and you see, we left over, where's the eagle? There's the eagle, right? There's the eagle there. Up here is that one with the father and son right here. See, it's different coloring and all because it's a different time of day and stuff. But you see his glasses and his hair, and the boys over here. So anyhow, I looked at that. And then today after, you know, I just stitched this together recently to get a glimpse of the whole picture thing here, you know. And over here, I think these could be the biddies. These are the biddies over here, the women standing there. And you see his shoulder coming down and his arm coming down into his pocket. I'll move that up. So, I don't know. Hey, you know what? Go drink some more vodka yourself, dude. You know what? I don't care for smart asses. People know that. You know? Yeah, you know, pull your finger out of your butt. Get a brain. This stuff is real. You're an idiot. Yeah, I'm not. I don't take BS from nobody. Nobody. So yeah, see his shoulder. This is his shoulder and his arm coming down here. You see the inside the arm. This is the body. So this is that, and the biddies are right behind him. And so I check in these dark areas, in any crevices and things like that. And I've been to this site like 4 times, and it's just confusing me some. It's because there's so many sites. And this is in the Spanish toy factory. But what else did I have here for this? Oh yeah, I was going to show you here. This is a raw image. This is the Clovis girl over here painting. This is, I can show you. I'll move the hand off her face there. This is her hat. This is her hair. This little ear flap thing on her hat. There's her eyelash or eye. This is her front of her face. And she's looking at this painting. Here's the outline of the painting. Right there. And right here you see her hands coming up. Those are her hands coming up into the painting. And here's her backside coming down, and she's sitting there. So it curves around. There's her, you know, so here's her behind, and her legs come out here. Here you see one leg coming here, and the other leg is over here. And so she's sitting there working on this painting. And a lot of people say, oh, it's Photoshop, it's Photoshop, it's Photoshop. No, it isn't. It's Paint Shop Pro by Corel. But what I do, Okay, I'm just going to go here, adjust, and I go to Smart Photo Fix. And over here, I take it, and you can see what's happening to the picture as I'm going to turn the saturation up. Oh, maybe not too high. Let's turn it up. Yeah, pretty much there, 74 or 44. That's a good. Let's get her a little more purple in her dress. 63. Yeah, and I can turn the shadow down a little, and the brightness. It brightens it more than I want to, so I turn that down a little bit, and then we go okay. And see, now you can see the purple in her dress. Her painting comes out better. And there's the Clovis girl. She painted there 14,000 years ago. It's probably one of the world's oldest painting. It's really the oldest painting. Others are just petroglyphs. This is a painting. I'm trying to figure out what she's painting here. You know, there's dark stuff, and this looks like she got a couple people in her painting. And see, they're in an arch. They're in an omega here. That's the other thing. So I turned her up, but also you can see through the tree here. There's a lot of color over here. Something. I got to get a picture from the other side of the tree of that. And did you see that when I was zooming out? Look at this. Look at that big head there. What's he got? He's somebody in his mouth. See, there's a head here. It's a guy laying sideways. And there's an arm. But that's part of her, too. No, is it? It's above her. It's right above her. Yeah, there's this big dude. And you see his body. She's in part of his body. So there are some paintings. This is a painting here, too. That guy. Get this big nose, the eye, the mouth. This is, you don't know. If you leave something laying out there for 14,000 years, it's going to be very hard to recognize after that 14,000 years. But you can see here, the shapes here. This is not a natural formation, you know. You can see the guy down here too, the nose, and there's some type of art, whatever. Okay, enough of that picture. What else did I have? The head dam. This is the other thing, again, with the marbles, guys standing over the marbles. And this is the arch under his arm and stuff, and his arm come down this slot here. So, and I've been looking where the hands are, where the hands point. That's the formation, and you see the arch that's behind the two guys standing over the marbles. And you can see the slot where the arm reaches across that arch. See, so there's also, you see these are actually figures over here. Is a hat. It's a big face on there. And where else was there stuff? There's just things all over in there that's just too much to point out. That's a low resolution picture. I got higher res here. Where was I? I saw some figures I wanted to point out. Where'd they go? I think they're right in here. See, there's somebody in the bush there. Oh yeah, this is the other thing I wanted to point out. what do we see here? An omega, basically. But in these shapes are other people. Look at this guy. See, he's got a big patch on his eye. He's like a pirate, right? And here's his shoulders. And his arms are reaching over here. It's his body there. There's another face down there. But you see, there's a head right above my finger. Another one. 3 people there. Some strange figures there. This looks like some kind of bird in there. This is a beak, maybe? I don't know. No. But, yeah, and look at this guy. He's standing here looking. Just separate that black off from his back. There. That's a guy standing there looking to the right. And if you go right over here, there's more figures over here. And there's signs on here. There's little faces. There's a cross right here. They're colored on purpose. What's been eroded over 14,000 years, we don't know. Oh, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for over here. You see, here's the biddies, maybe, right? There's an eye, the nose, the mouth. He's looking over this way at these. And is this a skull? Or is this 2 hands? Is that something pinching the treasure right in there? Like this. See what I mean? But I gotta go look at that close. And I can get there easily. I can get to that spot. I come over the top. Well, it's flat on top here, and I can come right down along here and get there. That's walking. You can walk right on top of this here, across that. And I can even, I've got a 100-foot rope I could tie off on a tree here that'll reach the bottom of it, and I could rappel down there if I wanted. But I no need to, because I can get there another way from the other side, crossing the creek. Look, see, there's figure down here. Oh, what's he doing? He's holding. That's somebody holding something up in the. You see a leg here, a leg here. Here's the body, the head, and the arm reaching up here, and just weird. Yeah, at some of the temples in Mexico, you see here. I see there's a face here, a profile, nose, chin. Here's another face, nose, mouth, eye. Yeah, and there's a lot of them that are carved. There might be some that are natural, made of, but you don't get that many of them. Somebody in the bush. In some places, the top of the head, they knew that if they left it flat on top of the head, that grass would grow there, and it pretty much grow there forever. Because it's got a little ledge to sit on. Yeah, see this guy down here? Here's the eye, nose, mouth. He's looking off to the right. He's part of the biddies, or no, he's over here this side. There's another group of people here. So you see here too. Look at this big old face. Oh, yeah. Oh, did we? We still on? Yeah. Okay. Good. That was an accident. Zoom in. Come on. Oh. This is what I was trying to. Where'd he go? Oh, I gotta look again and regain it. There was a face over over here that I saw. Now it's kind of gone. But you see there's another face, right? Look at this guy here. It's eye. And down here's where I found Indiana Jones in these rocks. He might be up here. I think this is him on this rock. I moved him around. Look at that face. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay, did Forrest Fenn what? I gotta get it on my... Oh, where... Okay, I turned the camera around. Now I'll read the questions. Because, yeah, people just say, oh, man. Yeah, because some of it's really there. Some of it might be imagination, you know. And I don't like searching for it while everybody's watching there. But... let me see, where's my YouTube, my channel, mute. Yeah, you like that that picture I had on the thumbnail, beginning of the video? That was fun. Those are marbles I found. Went to look at this house, and I found an elephant bank and a bunch of marbles. Those are signs from the guy upstairs, not Forrest. I get help from secret, what do you call them? Spirits. Bill guy, did Forrest Fenn confirm that the part of the car was in fact? He won't confirm anything. He can't. In his mind, he cannot help anybody by confirming or giving somebody a clue that everybody else doesn't have. Yeah, he didn't say it wasn't when I showed him the totem video, and I said, "Who's that guy?" Who's the figure on the left side? And he said, "Oh, that's George Washington." Then I knew, you know, if that's George Washington, I must be close. I showed him a picture of this one spot that was behind the waterfall underneath the rocks. It was one of them coves under the rocks and stuff. And he put a little X on it. And he does that with he'll put a little X on everybody's picture. You telling them where it's right there, you know. But, you know, that's it. I know it wasn't right there, but it's not far from there. It was at the end of his rainbow. It was at the end of his rainbow there. So, what was his body language? It was like he didn't want to say anything. One question I asked him that he said, I don't want to answer that question, was how did you make sure the chest wouldn't come open since it was unlocked and the key was inside? You know, how do you make sure that, did you put a rope around it or something? And he said, I don't want to answer that question. So, because then I thought, oh, maybe the rope tied around. He could have lowered it into its spot and let the rope go. You know what I mean? He could have had it down and lowered it down to a ledge or something into a creek or into a hole in the ground or someplace it was just easier to put it there that way. Little pile of rock. Yeah, he could have put it underneath some rocks and then stacked other rocks in front of it to hide it. That's not buried. That's entombed. Let me get my camera wants to fall over like it did earlier. The other thing I use when I go out, if I go at night or something, I use the ultraviolet, the black light, so that anything that things that glow would not are not the part of the natural. You know, most of the rocks aren't going to glow, but if you find some that glow or something. The one thing I found to glow is scorpions. They glow. They turn bright yellow, green, yellow. They're really cool and fluorescence. And so you can find some fluorescent gems with it. Not heavy rocks though, is it? No, it'd be small ones, I think. But I did find the elephant in the creek. A sculpted elephant in the creek, and it's the elephant, and his trunk came around, hooked around, curled around, and there was even a little guy carved in the trunk that was holding the tombstone in there. It's ridiculous. Some of the stuff. So yeah, and let me see. Not heavy rocks though. No, but it could be under a heavy, you know, it could be under a heavy rock, but you don't have to move the rock. It's just in a cubby hole underneath the rock. You know, I got the one video I had where I read the poem, and the background shot was under a rock, and there was actually figures under the rock, and I got to go look in there again after the snow melts. In the canyon is steep, deep, and the sunshine don't get down there to melt the snow, and it's one of the last areas to melt. Let me see. I got some other interesting stuff I can show you. It's concerning these are ancient ruins, like I said, and they're mammoth temples. And that's why the mammoth tusk was important. The mammoth tusk is important. The Clovis points he had are important because this is likely the work of the Clovis people, the people before the Ice Age people. Wow, that's neat. I won't show you. I look at a picture, I say, wow, that's neat, but a lot of people can't see. All they see is the rock, and they look for 3 seconds. All I see is rock. Well, it says marvel gaze. Marvel gaze. That means you stare at it. Yeah, you see, I'm not a young punk. I don't tolerate young punks. It's like, you know, Forrest, hey, what'd you say? You want me to punch you in the face? You know? That's all, you know. You want to attack me? You throw a punch at me, and I'm going to get a nuclear bomb out for you. No, I do not own nuclear bombs. I have no access to them, and I have no interest in them. I have a page on Fukushima, the Fukushima think tank to stop global extinction, because that thing's been leaking for the last 7 years. It's been leaking and leaking, and more people are dying of cancer, and they're wanting to dump all the stored radiation in water tanks they got into the ocean too. Contaminated even more. Fish are getting lesions on them, and they say this fish is unsafe to serve in Japan, so let's ship it to America. The green olive jar, I found one spot that could be represent the jar or the Pepsi bottle, the bottle, and is the treasure just a message in a bottle, and you got to retrieve that message and go claim the treasure from some attorney or somebody that he set it all up with, or it's in his will, or we don't know. You know, maybe when he dies, his will get read, and it'll be in the will who was the most creative and closest to the treasure, and all that. Who was brave enough to say these shapes are in the rock, because they're little penis heads out there that want to say, "Oh, you're nuts. You're seeing shapes in rocks." No, I'm brave, and I'm in the wood. I'm in the art. I'm in the art in nature, the art that you can find right there in the rocks, and that's being brave and in the art. He was brave and in the art when he opened up his gallery. He had no idea I had no idea I was going to find ancient ruins, and once you take pictures of so many forms, and then you see one that's like, wow, that is actually a carved rock. Yeah, you don't know Jack, Shane. I'm going to block you real soon. You know? I don't like little penis heads. Or Nixon heads. He was also known as Dick. There. I just put him in a timeout. I didn't delete him. I give him a chance to be nice. You know? I'm not going to tolerate that crap. Because the whole poem is about, that's what Braving in the Wood is all about. It's about the art. The art in the frames. Wood frames. Wood art is in wood picture frames. You know? Oh, sort by. There. There. So, yeah, what did he come and disturb things for? Someone also told me about this thing here. I'll open it up. Open with. Boop. The thrill of the chase. Okay, it also, you can take them letters, rearrange it to the fire hole halts. Okay. Now, where does the fire hole halt? He said it before. How deep is a hole? How deep is a hole? How deep is a fire hole? How deep is the deepest fire hole? You begin it there. Okay? Now I'll go through some of my cartoons I made here for you. There's Forrest Fenn fly fishing. Here you see his head here. He's laying on the back of this big dodo bird, you know, because he's a pilot and he's flying and he's fishing for this fish over here. See the fish over here? And this little thing was the treasure. And it's in the well of a tree, and there are tree roots in here and stuff. And that's where the fish is, down there in the well of the tree in the wood. Okay? So the things in the poem, you're going to see them over and over and over and over again. It's figuring out which one of them is the end. And it's the one place furthest along in all the stuff you find. So, you know? He talks about the Frenchman's tombstone. He said there were hundreds of them. You're looking for hundreds of Frenchmen, dead Frenchmen, hundreds of dead Frenchmen in the Rocky Mountains. So, you know, what is it, Franklin? I think the actual, yeah, I think it's actually hidden. Uh, but sometimes I get the idea that maybe it is possible and all that it's a game and he's testing the players, and because he knew he wasn't going to die right away, so he had time to see who the people are that are close. He knows I'm close. I send him all my cartoons and my pictures of the formations I found. Yeah, the one I made up, man. Yeah, well, I don't know what that was. Here's the elephant I was telling you about. This is a mammoth in the creek. So this is the end of his trunk over here. You see his trunk comes around. There's his eye there, and then right in the, I'll try and zoom right into him. I don't know if this is the high resolution. No, this one doesn't come out good. But see, there are figures there carved in the. You see a nose. This is a nose and a face, and just real small carved in there. There's a head in the back there. There's a head here. Okay, next picture. Now here, this is a rock, and it was in the creek, but I seen in here. This looks like an F. If you, or you know, it looked like I was seeing part of the words of the that are on the tombstone. If you should find my, you know, look at that. See that guy's face right here? There's an eye, the nose. The elephant is nature's treasure. And it also represents peace and the wise elephant, and memory and longevity and omegas. And see, even the bird, go in peace. This is from something in India. You know, it's the same basic elephant. There we go, piece. I just made that. Was just, yeah, and this is what I call a lot of the women. See, I'm a single guy, and there's a lot of women follow my search. They follow my search and waiting for the moment for me to find the treasure, and then they'll have a sudden real interest in me. You know, no, they're gold diggers, and if I prefer to find a good woman before I find the treasure, that way I know she loves me and not the treasure. You know, as I call them, gold diggers, because they're waiting for me to find the treasure. And if I'm going to have gold diggers, I'm going to have 10 of them like Dean Martin had. So I can have one for the rest of my life if I find her before the treasure. If I find the treasure before I find a woman, then they're just gold diggers, and I'll have a collection of them. Yeah, I'm still looking for entrances. This is really neat. See right here, you see a head here and his arm coming down, and he's reaching inside, and this is this is also eyeballs of this big monster head here. You know, there's other figures here standing there, but he's reaching down into the mouth of this big monster. There's eyes too, you know. It can have different shapes. You could pick that. There's multiple figures overlapping. And look at this guy right up here. There he is. I'm circling his face. There's eye, and an eye, and his nose, and he's looking down here. See this face here. There's a face looking out right there. We can zoom in so you can see closer. Here's the guy reaching into the rock. And the other thing Forrest said about his marbles, see this little guy hiding in here? See, there's a face in there, and there's his hand. Here's a head here. There's an eye socket. It's a square head. It's maybe SpongeBob. I don't know. Here's this guy here. See the smile, the nose, and the eye, and his hands up. His hands are up. There's a face right here. This is the nose, eye. He's got a feather out of his head. There's another face right in here. See, in this guy here, there's an eye, his nose, his mouth, and he's nose to nose with this guy right back here. It's so overlapping and stuff, That's the same one. So, and I camp right there, too. Here, this is by the double blazes. Here you see the face. He's got his little Air Force hat on. And here's his shoulder, his one arm coming down here, his body coming down here. And here's his arm reaching into this. His arm goes in and reaches inside that little opening there. He's reaching into something that looks like half round or something, and he's reaching into a pipe or something, So boom. Oops, a clue. Yeah, I thought I saw a gun right here. See, this is a gun right here. This is a hand, and this is a pistol here pointed at this person over here. There's a face here. There's an eye. There's an eye, the nose, and the chin, the dark hair. The omnificent guru. I did this picture. That was an accident. I didn't know. I thought I would block the sun, and I didn't know it was gonna block me. I thought my shadow was I had my shadow on the camera so that I wouldn't get the sun in the picture, and I got the sun in the picture. So, yeah, he said an omnificent guru could find it, go right to it. This is, see, the eye, an eye, well, that's a big head up there. The gypsies. Here they are cut out of that. Oh, am I just going to go through a bunch of just heavy loads? Oh, I offended somebody. It looks like a Mickey Mouse shadows on the rock, and it just looked, what do you call it, whimsical, Hint of riches old. It's in French. Okay. Oops. When he said that it's not a dam, that answer was in reference to where warm waters halt, not the home of Brown. Okay? I can't remember what that is. So the women in the hoods and all that is the Inky that's on the canyon wall. That's the two women in the hoods. I have too many matches to be in the wrong place. You can't get this many matches and not be in the right area. You know, here, you know, see here, Omega, Omega, Omega. There's just Omegas everywhere. And I see this guy over here looking at, this is a head. There's his eye, his mouth. He's got a plant for his head feathers or his hair. That's what I was telling you about. There you get these things in there. But there's also figures in these. See the face right here. There's a mouth, a nose, eyes. There's that shape there, that hand thing I showed you earlier. That's a common thing here. And that's in the picture with the marbles too, is those hand-shaped figures, gestures and stuff. You cannot find the treasure without finding the signs. Yeah, it's temples. There's lots of figures in there, but you got to zoom in closer. Oops! Where'd that come from? He found a treasure. That should have been in my cartoon file, not my Forrest Fenn thing. Okay, here you see the three Indians sitting here. He's got head feathers, a head. Here's a head. Here's his head, the body. He's sitting there. They're passing. There's something in here. What is that? Oh, that's little figures of humans. Okay, but what, you know, trying to figure out what this was isn't easy, you know? Oh, wow, there's something there. What is it? Yeah, those eyes and the nose, it's all just awesome right there. And the face here, in that, there's face there. This guy's got a beard. A beard in North America? Oh my God, Indians didn't have beards. These ones did. They were here first. Now here he's, looks like just a rock, huh? Yeah, no, not really. These are all figures in here. There's a head, there's a head. There's a guy there, his arm coming across, there's face. See, look at this. This guy's pretty clear up here. That guy, and then this guy's got a big long nose. And there's another guy over here, another one here. This figure over here, this guy over here. When you know, if it's something that's your imagination, then there would be only maybe one figure in all of this. Here's three, 1, 2, 3 heads there. There's another face on the edge over here. Way too much. The ZPU gun. This is a ZPU gun. It's got a round thing here, and it's got this oval cylinder thing. I think this holds all the bullets. One of them holds the bullet. There's just bullets going off. And it's got two 50 caliber Or it's got 4. I see other ones over there. So, and you know, it's sticking there. Here you got the round rock. Here's the oval rock on the other side there. Here's the guns sticking out. His buddy took it out, and that's why one gun is down and the other is up. And this is a common sign. I see a lot of, it's not a peace sign, it's a 3-finger sign. Don't know. But there's, you see the front of the face, the profile of the face here. Here's the nose, there's the eye. That's the face over there. Here's a guy hiding behind the tree here. There's the face right in there. There's several figures in there. And found a little wizard down right, and he's real tiny. I'd have to zoom in to get to him. Here's a couple of legs, figure on the shoreline. But, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. And see the guy up here? See the head right there and the arm coming over, a hand up, coming up. There's a guy standing there waving. These are all in the same, you know, it's a few miles, but they're all in the same proximity. See the face here and the face here. There's other faces down here. There's a skull or something. So you know, like a totem pole, they'd have one face on top of another. Boom, boom. There's another face there. There's another one down here. It's just imagination's better than knowledge. So all this stuff people know and say I'm wrong. He said, my imagination is better than that. Now this here, let's back off a little so we see the whole thing there. Okay. Here you see the profile of this guy's face. Here's his nose, here's his lips, and his mouth, his eye. There's another face right back here. But this is also, look, this guy's, this is a rear end, and there's a foot right here. There's a knee right here. And this is his thigh and his ass, butt. Yeah. When you, the words you can't say and stuff, like George Carlin, those 7 words. So ass is not a word that is, it's an allowed word in according to the FCC. So, but you see the eye here and the nose and the other eye. There's just a whole series of faces and people. There's the leg. Here's an arm. There's the head right there. There's another head there, another head there, another one there. There are a lot of figures in there. Some ugly ones. Yeah. I don't know if I got 3 people watching. People think, oh, you don't know. Okay. Now you see this? Look at this eye right here. This eye right here. And this eye here. And this nose. And the lips. When you see that kind of stuff, big like that, you know it's ruins. But you see what that is also? I'll show you what that is also. That's the helicopter. Here's the tail, the rotor in here. The props are behind the words. There's some tombstones up here. They look like tombstones. It's not a cemetery, but they look like tombstones. I think that they let the coyotes drag the bodies off and stuff, and that's why you can't find the people, but you can find these monuments they made. There's the Indiana Jones rock. And when you find that, that's a message from God. That's the omnificent part of it. See, like that. And he's got his sword up in front of his, holding the sword. This is a sword. Held up in front of his face, going up. That's the face. You see a couple figures in there. There's a head there, arms coming across the shoulders, a body. There's a big face. Oh, where's... Gotta get a drink. Okay, you don't see the face up here? There's an eye, mouth. A face here, face there. This guy's body, other arms, and his face right in here. There's another one and another one. It's just all over the place. In the wood. You see what I threw in there? I photoshopped the ruler into it. Because the ruler is made of wood. So they were made of wood back in his day. And, you know, it's a wood tool, so therefore it's art too. Pretty sure you're just making shit up for us to watch. No, I'm not making shit up for you to watch. You're just blind. I can't, you talk about piling up treasure, money, property, culture, knowledge, and so on and so on. In going ahead with the Jesus prayer, just let me finish now, please. In going ahead with the Jesus prayer, aren't you trying to lay up some kind of treasure? Something that's, it's every goddamn bit as negotiable as all those other more material things? Or does that fact that it is a prayer make all the difference? Yeah, so in other words, you know, the confidence and the prayer and the hoping and wishing and all that, if you don't have that part of you that is confident and knows you're on it like I am, then you have no chance of finding. You have to be very confident. And when you find as much as I've found, it increases your confidence. This is the Enki and the Hooded Women. Enki, like in Persia. You see his face here. He's sitting in a chair. There's his legs. There's his body. His cloak is draped out, just like the one in Persia. This is his cloak. And it's draped out. His hands reaching out here. There's 3 women standing here. See, boop, boop. Wearing hoods. And it looks like there's somebody sitting on his lap. There's somebody sitting on his lap, yeah. There's looking at him. And there's, see this other face back behind him. But, yeah, that's Enki. I see another woman right here. And she's got a couple of breasts. 1, 2, 1, 2. So, yeah, some people are just too blind to see it. And if you're too blind to see it, if you don't see what I'm showing you, you better go, you know, maybe play Dialing for Dollars or something, you know, because you ain't got a chance. You got to be able to see the wood, which is the art. Wood is art. This is the leprechaun. You see the arm and the face. Oh, here's the face. Here's a hand out here. This is her hand. This is her face. And here's her shoulder and her arm coming down. This is one hand and the other arm. She's laying there. She's probably gone now because the rushing water in that waterfall each year would wash that away, but that wasn't something that was just leaves and stuff, and it came, it's one of those. That was one of the imaginary ones. But you see see the eye, nose, mouth. He's got like an elephant trunk nose. Here's an eye. There's another head there, another one there, another one there. It's just a row of them. You can even see the guy down here, and his feathers sticking out of his head. This is where the little leprechaun, she's right up here. So, so some of the pictures are... Ooh, too far in. There. Where is she? She's over here. I missed her. There she is. See, she's right in there. And she's real small. Nowhere near the size of a person, Incoherent babble. Yeah, you know what? You want to make little remarks like that, you're done. I'll totally block your butt. Yeah, like I told you, I don't put up with little a-holes. If you enjoy watching it, don't make rude comments. I'll get rid of your ass. You mean nothing to me. Nothing. You can go back and suck on your mama's teat if you need that kind of attention. Do you still think you find a lot of bottle caps in the area? Yeah, I think he's probably left a few bottle caps there, whether it was fishing or just sitting there and resting, and because he was tired and weak, so someplace he sat there and drank. And I've always wanted to see how many frames down in we can get. Isn't that neat? Yeah. So, let's see. The Gypsy Kiss, they talk about bring me on the show, but there's been no offer to come on the show, no trying to schedule it or anything, and and I've sent him pictures of the blaze, and they keep talking about it's like the blaze. I've got pictures of the blaze, and you're not paying attention. Map sketch. B. Computers. Yeah, the blaze is right up here. Or just double clicked. It should have been open before. Right there. Fenn. With a fish and 2 fish hooks. That is the blaze. There's the other artwork that I've found and stuff, but this is the blaze. It's at the end of the rainbow. And right next to it is the kid with the fishing pole, and I'm figuring out where that fishing line goes, and I'm waiting for the snow to melt. And those people, oh, why don't you go get? Because there's 2-3 feet of snow on top of it, you morons. People call me a moron, and you're the morons that don't consider that you don't know the situation of where it's at. You don't know the current conditions. And so any of your remarks like that are out of stupidity. and ignorance. And I'm not too I just answered the bottle cap question. How did it come up again? Yeah, there's bottle caps. I did find a bottle up in the tree. There's up at the top by the temples. Up at the top of the mammoth temples, where there's actually temples and guy in a throne and all that, and sun discs and hundreds of figures of people, and I got to get up there and get some close-up pictures so that this stuff isn't pictures from 300 yards away. People, whoa, you focus. You dummies. You know, you take say I take a picture of something, and you see this, say this is the whole picture here, but I see something right here. I crop that piece of the picture out and bring it up so it's up all the way up to the screen, and the pixelation is going to make it look out of focus. And you people have no technical knowledge, no knowledge of physics, no knowledge of optics and all that stuff, and you accuse me, or you act as if I was right on top of it when I took the picture. No, this is cropped out of a much bigger picture, and it's blown up so you can see it. But the blaze thing with the fin and the fish and the 2 fish hooks, that's 10, 15 feet across, and it's up on the canyon wall. You only see it really after the sun's gone down. You can't see it in the daytime in the light. It's not there, but at night it somehow comes out because you don't have the full spectrum of light of daytime. You lose some of that light spectrum at night. That's why everything turns black. But yeah, the Fenn thing up on the rock is. I think they find a lot. Why does that question keep coming up? Pretty sure. No, I'm not making anything up. Yeah, I found way too much. You don't find all of the pictures in rock and just make that up. You got to be a real idiot to think that I made it up. You're a real idiot. And I don't like idiots. Smart people have a real difficult time dealing with stupid people. It's like, oh my God, that's common sense. Why did that stupid person even ask that question? It's common sense. It's there in plain sight. A lot of stuff in the books, plain sight. I gotta find my drawing I had of the the wood frames. Here, I'll show you another clue. He talks about the biddies. They lived in a brick house. The biddies lived in a brick house. Forrest Fenn lived in a wood house, and it burned down. Who lived in the straw house? Does the straw house represent his straw man? A straw man, somebody that will be there in his place after he dies. Somebody that he's put in his will that they're gonna carry on his spot as the replace him in a treasure hunt, basically. Oh, what's that down arrow for? Oh, what time is it? I don't want to go into I'm going to end this before the other people get online here. They coming on at 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna end pretty soon. But let's see if I gotta. We did that one. There we go. There he is, Mr. Brown, taking a pee. That was Oregon. That was a moss rock. I had to put some eyes and teeth on it, man. You know. That was an old solve, that picture, so don't worry about that. Taste the rainbow. You're looking for the end of his rainbow. There's all kinds of... all the world stage, all the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being several ages. Okay. Several ages. What are ages? We're in the age of Aquarius. We just entered the age of Aquarius, or are entering it. And we've left, well, we leave the age of, what were we in, Pisces or something? I don't know. Well, it just keeps popping the same things up. Oh. I'm using 2 weeks of leave this summer to make trip out to search something. Good, good. Yeah, what? I'd post that question. I didn't post that question. Bill, are you high when you make these videos and live footage? Shit, maybe high all the time. I'd take my parrot into Denver, or up near Denver. It's about 200 miles. I had to take him because his beak was growing deformed, and I had to get it trimmed, the deformed part trimmed off. So I took him up there. It took 10 minutes, and they gave me a new cage. And it charged me $14. And I said, well, here's a 20, you know, because they gave me a cage. And they trimmed his beak and his claws. And but I am, having a parrot makes me, as far as I know, the only pirate in the chase. The only one qualified to be a Captain Kidd. Like extensions of the human hand. The wood handles, the wood tools, an extension of the human hand. That's Eric Sloan. There's a hand pointing in the water. See, it's ding. There's like that. Yeah, right. So, but that's up. I'll tell you exactly where that is. That's just half a mile towards Salida from the Wellsville Bridge. And there's pinion kilns, and there's arches, which are rainbows. I found like 6 arches, and I found 10 pinion kilns. And most places you go, you're going to find multiple. This is Eric Sloan. Fashioned the workers designed his tools in early America. The iron workers forged only the cutting blade. They gave no thought to the design of the wooden handle and the rest of the finished tool. Plain blades and even knife blades were hand forged. I thought I had that resting on something and it jarred. Okay. Hand forged and solid like axe heads. and the craftsman was left to make his own wooden handle to hold the big hand needed to hold the fingernail or cutting part. A small hand needed a small handle, and a big hand needed a big handle. The man who used an apprentice had notches in his big plane that enabled the apprentice to help push it along in a stick. But anyhow, Eric Sloan, he considers wood, these wood handles and stuff, artwork. The art of making it fit your hand, kind of. Each one is specialized in a work of art. Better way to go. It's fast. Now, that's how pilots usually die. They go out in a blaze of glory. This is that same spot location I told you. This is a quarter mile towards Salida from the bridge, and this little what do you call it? Watergate. It's a watergate, and a wheel. You turn the wheel, and that pipe rotates around, and the chain wraps around it and pulls the gate up, so the water can run into the town there. That's where the water got its water supply. They put this upstream from the town, and then the water ends up in town, up on the other elevation. So, but it's not anywhere near this thing. It was just very neat and part of a solve I had there. That's there too. That's one of the arches on top. See, Salida's right up here, and you take the canyon in, and when you see the rocks with all the holes on the right and stuff, and the bridge is on the left. And I've been up, got pictures of all those mine holes and things. That's up there too. Yeah, I photoshopped the treasure in it. When somebody shows a picture of the treasure, it can't be the same angle as the other ones or anything from the video of the guy making a copy one. Mount killed in action. Killed in action, missing in action in Colorado. Okay, that's near Mount Ouray. That's not the right area, but it was an interesting spot that nobody else had ever mentioned. Oh, I'm going backwards. My peace pipe. Squat. Brave in his peace pipe. See, go in peace pipe, We didn't, that was what I'm trying to figure was the chief. Take my treasure, but leave my bones. And you see it looked like a skull sitting up here. See the eyes and skull sitting there. Yeah, the ruler. We're going through here. It's at St. Peter's Gate. He said he took it with him. If he took it with him, maybe he went past the light. I give you title to the gold. I'm just making who gives you title. So if I'm looking for these figures in the rock, am I looking for a king or a queen or something that would be holding the treasure? A brave tree will grow right on a rock ledge in between the rocks and be the tallest, biggest tree in the forest. Puzzle pieces. So hear me all and listen good. What we got here, a lot of people ain't seen it. This is a skull. That's a skull. Here's an eye, here's an eye, here's a nose. This is an ear, and this here is an ear horn. It's it's a horn shape. So he's listening in his ear, listening, listening good. He's got his ear horn. For people that don't know what an ear horn is, it's an antique hearing aid, okay? Hear me good. He's hard of hearing. So this thing could be right next to, a noisy place, but he can't hear the noise, so it doesn't matter to him. Take the chest and go in peace. The blaze, the calumet it's a blaze and it's peace. I made this one. This is cool. That's actually the Russian jet in Syria coming down. I took him and James Dean and his quote, and I made my own little thing with it. What better way to die? Fast and clean. You go out in a blaze of glory. That's how most pilots go out. That's probably the way pilots prefer to go out. I don't know. I don't think anybody wishes to go out that way, but I mean, if you're going to go out in a blaze of glory. Bigfoot got it. Braving in the woods. A spiritual warrior. The wood is, the wood's also the cross. So, the cross is spiritual and blah, 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 blah. It is 6 degrees of separation. There's a relationship between everything. The answers are hidden in plain sight. And that's how I got where I'm at. The Shakespeare quote. And you see these are entrances and exits. This is a series of tunnels. It's just north of Buena Vista. North of Salida and north of Buena Vista. You actually drive through Buena Vista to the east side of the Arkansas River and go up that east side of the Arkansas River. It goes through these tunnels. And I found rock climbers climbing on it and stuff. So I didn't think where rock climbers are, mushroom pickers, hunters, I don't think it's in one of those areas. It's one of those areas where hunters wouldn't go because, man, I can't carry an elk back through there. They go where it's easier to get to. Okay. So, yeah, we'll leave with Yoda, and I'm going to end it because gypsies are coming. We'll see ya. Have a good day.